Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Input received 2. Interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I want in the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Here's the door, just go.
Oh, poor guy. Do any of these have... Oh yeah, they do have these paintings. Carte Blanche et Mont Blanc. Sewage Lilies by Claude Money. I am the most expensive boss. Okay. Oh, it's insulation. That's what those bags are. I'm used to it being the pink fluffy stuff that makes you itch.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it,
I wish I could
the
bunny
truth
hop
was
to the end
that
of
at the
this
end
hallway.
of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I've died plenty of
At this
times.
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward
And I haven't
willingly
explored this yet.
confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Solitaire. Employee database. Something or other. Can't really read. Still can't really read. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. What was this part again? The office. The office? Let's go this way. The office. Maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Greenlight. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos which were still enough to win the community's approval. Yes. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Narrator emails. After the second trailer, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. The Lounge, an early version of the Lounge. The Office. I don't want to miss any rooms. I want to see all of them. Alright. Stanley's Office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's Office over time. The first was created in November 2011, second in March 2012, and the third in February 2013. So it says left to right. Yeah, not a huge difference. Game design mockup. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mockup is still in the game. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two endings together instead. Countdown room. An early version of the countdown room. Just a really bright window. This game is now paused. Escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. I can imagine so. Meeting room. 1 option, 3 option. 2 options. Event. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Yeah, basically from the lounge. I think. Yeah. And we've been through over here. Yeah. Okay. The cargo lift. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo is actually stored. Yeah. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death, which is always good. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Interesting. Yeah, we already did this. No, we haven't done this. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Alright. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color they'd pulled. Won't let me do it though. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represented the 4th version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Okay. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. I don't recognize this. I don't think I've seen this yet. No, wait, just these... Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the Countdown ending. How did I not look at that? Oh, that's the exit. We've been up there. We've seen this stuff. We've seen everything in there, I think. Let's go down this side, too. This was an early, very early incarnation of the Freedom ending in the game's alpha. Office clock. Read everything in here. The boss's office. Screens from the development of the boss's office. Employee lounge. Underground, an early version of the underground portion of the game. Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game. I think that's everything then. So I think we can just go through the exit, which is up top. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...